Hello, welcome
All
to
right.
the Radical Saturday podcast. I'm AJ 1700s,
And this is Blazing Blades YT.
and this is a brand new podcast we're starting up. If you've ever seen Well, There's Your Problem, it's a ripoff of that, except not exclusively about engineering disasters, although this is most certainly one. This is the T14 Armada, as seen here.
Loki looks kind of cool though.
You won't think that by the end.
Man, is it getting towed in this picture by like a rope?
Oh, you'll learn the context later.
Oh, I can't wait for this. This is gonna be interesting.
Yes. But first, it's time for news from the front. The United Kingdom and Norway signed an anti-submarine pact to deal with Russian subs.
Interesting.
There is one slightly stupid part about this, though, and that the ships being used for it are still all under construction and will be finished between, I believe, 2028 and 2035.
That's gonna be a while. We're gonna be in OCPs by then.
Yeah, so it's good, just gonna be slow.
Hey, better
I
late than never.
yes, yes it is. Uh, I just wanted to keep the news from the front short for the first episode, so let's actually get into the real meat and potatoes. So you're Russia. You've just gained your independence. It's now the brand new glorious year of 1992. The first Pizza Huts have been opened, and your economy looks worse than the inside of that car. And the worst thing is, your tanks look like this. This is a
Mm,
T80. Don't ask the specific model of T80. I am not good enough. Uh,
this looks
and
like an
this,
ancient T80.
actually, I think it's been modernized a bit, uh, considering that it's from the
Really?
Tank Olympics specifically based off of that.
Hmm. And is that an Abrams on the bottom? It looks kind
Yes,
of
and
skinny.
this is an Abrams Sept V1, which is roughly the tank you're going to be up against. Uh, and well, you're going to need an upgrade. You've needed an upgrade even since the Soviet days. Unfortunately, your wallet looks like
Yeah.
this.
That looks like my wallet.
Yeah. Well, who knows? Maybe if the podcast picks up, we can have a larger budget than 90s Russia, which, to be honest, wouldn't be hard because it's 90s Russia.
Yeah, we could top that up.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Anyways,
flags and tanks.
yeah. You need a tank to show the world that Russia's down, but not out. And the easiest way is to lie. This
Oh
is,
no, is this the Black Eagle?
yes, this is the T95 Black Eagle. This, was a project done in, uh, the 90s by Russia, uh, to claim they had a brand new tank. They didn't. That's a wooden mock-up turret. And
It
that,
looks pretty real though.
and the, oops, didn't mean to do that, that's spoilers. And this hull is just a old Soviet prototype to elongate a T-80 hull.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this isn't a real tank.
They
Uh,
lost some brain cells on this.
yeah. And tanks currently, for you, Russia, look like this, a T-95. And the tanks you're going up against now look like this. This is a Challenger 2.
Uh,
But wait, hold
if that
on.
was in a forest, you're not seeing that. Oh,
Do you hear something?
I do.
Yeah,
Whoa, what's
let's see.
this? Oh,
Finally, with
oil.
some good money, we could finally afford a project. And in the V-Day parade in 2015, they finally showed off their brand new tank, the T14 Armada. Here. Oh, I got some live video footage from the parade right now. Let's see what's going on.
Is that the air water? That's it. That was it. I'm trying to burn it. I think that trying to go on a diet. Those tracks for tricks for the rock.
Officially, this is ruled as the driver accidentally pressing the parking brake. Uh, but as you
Oh,
can tell, that's not what accidentally pressing the parking brake looks like. But hey, come back to me in about slightly under half a decade, and I'm sure all these problems will be solved. Hey, won't you look at that? It's been about a decade, and we have just invaded Ukraine. Now, our current
I
tanks
finished
are
that.
getting destroyed by the dozens by the Ukrainians. It's a bloodbath. Uh, and there's drones like everywhere. So like a more modern tank, which is hopefully able to counter something like this would be perfect. Now let's see how these new T14 Armadas are doing in Ukraine. Oh, only used briefly, with debate if even used at all, in 2023 to underwhelming effect and then quickly pulled out for being too expensive. Uh,
That's a good sign.
yeah. So let's see what went wrong here. But before that,
The-
what does the West have again?
What? Abrams X. Striker X. What's next? Jason X? It looks like an Abrams, but like someone made it on scratch. Ooh, big guns. Ooh, ace, yeah. Wait. Ooh, armor? This looks like it might be kind of overpowered.
Jesus,
If I'm not
we are
mistaken.
so screwed. That's everything we were claiming the Armada could do, and more.
Uh-oh. Oh no.
So, to see where we went wrong, O'Toodles, and by O'Toodles I mean the ripoff O'Toodles because we couldn't get the license rights in time. Uh, let's see where exactly this tank went so wrong.
AJ will tell us where.
We'll look at the engine, we'll look at the armament, we'll look at the defense, and a mystery Mousecatool. Let's start with that engine. So you're Germany in the glorious year 1941, and your current heavy tanks looks like this. This is the Neberfahrzeug,
Oh,
only
I know that
used
one.
uh briefly during the invasion of Norway and mainly for propaganda film. It wasn't really good. Its armament was the same as the Panzerkampfwagen 3 and 4 at the same time. It had
Ooh.
two main guns. It just wasn't
Looks
really a
like a little
good
mini
tank.
turret.
And you're now
It
fighting
looks
things
cool
like
though.
these.
Oh yeah.
This
That's
is
my
a
boy,
KV-1.
KV1.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not winning against that. So Germany put out a new heavy tank project, and two companies offered their designs, Henschel
Oh
and
no.
Porsche. The Henschel design was fairly typical and won in the end, but Porsche wanted to do something new, cool, and unique, so hooked up
Double
their
uh-oh.
engine to an electric drivetrain, which was horribly underpowered and unreliable, with a transmission that broke if you thought about it existing.
Sounds like a Russian Federation looking off.
So they tried to
I
fix it
imagine
by
maybe
turning it
worse.
in. The problem is, uh, before they got denied, they already made a couple hundred units.
Oh.
So they were like, all right, let's solve these problems by turning it into a tank destroyer
No.
and adding even more armor and weight.
Oh no, I know what's going.
The
We're gonna
elephant
end
and
up with
Ferdinand, which are not relevant
yes,
to
the
this story.
Ferdinand. Really?
Uh, but the good news is we're not the Germans in this story. We're the Soviets. And
Yes.
we've successfully launched a counterattack. And the Red Army has captured a couple of these Porsche Tigers, also called Porsche Tigers or Tiger Peas. And here, let's look at the Red Army, who has just captured it and has started testing a couple out. Nope.
These villages are public
I
domain, right? Well, Sherlock?
Hey, bedtime soon.
Oh, we're gonna cut that out, I guess. That's probably not public domain.
Meter we found the other.
Jordan
What
Panzer?
about the 88 millimeter we found the other day? The automotive club should almost be done putting together the parts they found. If we have that, we should be able to break through their forces. Huh?
ignore the fact that the subtitles are in
Hello?
French.
I
Also, I
understand.
can't really hear the audio either.
We finished restoring it. All right. Look at that, looks strong. This is a super rare tank, you know. The Porsche Tiger. People really into tanks love this one, but it takes into the earth really and it overheats and catches fire. It's known for breaking easily. Oh man, we did it again! Hey Hoshino, put it out! Put it out! It pains you to call it a tank, doesn't it? It might have a bad belt system design, but its 88 millimeter cannon is really powerful. Good grief, are you sure we don't have any other tanks?
No, that didn't look very good.
Alright, so
It's Sherlock again.
what does the Porsche Tiger actually have to do with the T14 Armada? I mean, these are 70 years apart. So, Germany makes the engine for the Porsche Tiger, which gets captured by the Red Army, who then convert it for oil pumping. But, surprise, surprise, oil companies don't like it because it's unreliable and don't buy it. Then, Russia in the modern day needs a new engine for their brand new tank, and so use this engine, and uh-oh, you just put a Nazi German engine into the newest and greatest uh Russian tank. Maybe
That's
that's
not a
why we
good
look down
idea.
at the V-Day parade.
Mm.
Anyways, let's move on to the next Mauskatool, armament. So, there's two ways to load a gun. You have manually loading, where a guy physically takes the shells and puts them in the gun. This is what's used on the Merkava, Abrams, Leopard, a whole bunch of other vehicles. It's very common. And then you have an autoloader system. There's really two main types. There's carousel autoloaders, like used on the T-72, but there's a main problem. You see, a common weak point across basically all tanks is the turret ring. And if a shell hits the turret ring, it will then cause uh, every single round in the carousel autoloader to explode simultaneously, sending the turret miles into the air.
That's probably not a good thing.
Yeah. So on tanks like the French Leclerc and T14 Armada, they use a cartridge-style autoloader, which to be honest, I actually don't know all that much about, so I'm just going to avoid talking about specifics. Now, both have their ups and downs, but Russia and France generally prefer autoloaders, while the US uh, mainly prefers manual loaders. Now, let's look at the actual design of the Armada for a second. All three crew members, the commander, the driver, and the gunner, they're all in a sealed compartment in the hull. And the gun is very obviously
Oh.
in the turret. Now, in an Abrams, when the gun breaks down, or sorry, not breaks down, jams, uh, the crew takes like 30 seconds to clear it out. Maybe they have to briefly pull out a battle, but it's fine. On a tank like the T-72 when the autoloader jams, that's bad, but the crew's in the turret and can actually solve it. There is no way that I know of to get from the crew compartment to the unmanned turret in the T-14 Armada. So, you don't just have to leave the tank to fix the jam, but you also have to go back to a service station to do it.
Oof.
So, just pray that your gun doesn't jam, otherwise you're kind of screwed.
Does it happen very often?
Don't have enough data.
With how things are going, I bet it does.
But this light may possibly be a bit outdated, or not outdated, inaccurate, because I've heard multiple figures. But the reload speed of the T14 Armada's autoloader, I've heard 10 seconds, but I've also heard from a couple sources 5 seconds. I trust the 10-second reload figure more though. Now let's compare this to a couple other tanks. Uh, the T80's autoloader, as shown here, has a reload from anywhere from 7.5 to 10 seconds, about the same. The Leclerc, with its autoloader, uh, has a reload time of anywhere from 6 to 4 seconds.
Ooh, that's already a
So,
lot decently faster.
yeah, in the time it takes the T14 Armada to fire once, it takes the Leclerc about the same amount of time to fire twice. But wait, it gets worse. The Abrams has a manual loader. The qualification time for gunners is 7 seconds. The average is about 5 to 6. But under ideal circumstances, it can be as low as 3.87 seconds.
That's a lot faster than the autoloaders and
So
just
under
the
ideal
Armada in general.
circumstances, by the time the Armada fires once, the Abrams can fire a bit under 3 times.
I think I know who's gonna win that fight.
Yeah. Even under normal circumstances that aren't perfect test range conditions, it still fires twice before it fires once. Assuming the 10
Yeah, it's
figure's
still a lot
correct. If the
faster.
5 figure's actually correct, ignore the slide. It is actually just genuinely better than its predecessors. Anyways, let's move on to the next Musket tool. Armament. Or, sorry, not armament. Armor. Now, Russian tanks up to this point have mainly used this explosive reactive armor. These little boxes on the outside of the tank. Basically, when an anti-tank missile like an RPG comes and hits the box explodes to counter it out. Now, this system has some upsides and downsides, like once a box is hit, that box obviously can't be used again. and the armor it's on has to be a certain thickness, otherwise it actually makes the defenses worse, which is why they're not supposed to be used on BMPs, but they are anyways, because they're probably just filled with cardboard anyways. There's been a lot of corruption when it comes to ERA. Uh, Now the T14 Armada does use ERA, but it also combines it with what Western tanks use, which is the Trophy Active Protection System, albeit
Ooh, the
it uses
trophy
a Russian
system.
version which is worse, and I'll explain why in a bit, but let's see how Trophy works. Nope, I said let's see how Trophy works.
والله فيها مدى يا معلم. والله مدى.
I have no idea what they're saying because I don't speak Arabic, but that is
It
an
looks
example
like
of a Merkava 4 in Gaza stopping a Hamas RPG. Basically, it detects when a anti-tank weapon is coming towards it and fires a counter-explosive. Do you want to know why the Armada system is bad and why Western ones are good?
yes, I would like to see.
In the example I showed, which is a Western example, a trophy to be precise, that was all automatic. It detected the missile, it did all the calculations, and fired. The Russian system is manual. The commander has
Wait,
to
what?
tell the missile is coming, and then tell the tank to fire at that missile. You saw in that
So
video,
basically, they're
that was,
cooked.
yeah, that was about half a second in that video for the missile to get from the rocket launcher to the tank. And the commander has to detect that and manually counter it. That decision was so baffling that Chinese state media lambasted the Chinese government for considering to buy it. Do you know what it
Wow.
takes for Chinese state media to criticize the Chinese government?
Yeah. Wow. Who came up
Anyways,
with that anyway? That sounds terrible.
Ural Saval's a god. Horribly butchered the pronunciation, but I'll be referring to them as Ural from now on because I don't want to butcher their name again. Wait, what is this? This clearly has to be the Mystery Musketeer, but what could it mean? This is clearly
I
a
don't know.
B-Day parade in Paris done by American troops. American troops mainly use the Sherman tank. The Sherman
Yeah.
tank is generally considered one of, if not the best of World War II due to its soft factors. What's the most important soft factor? That would be money. What does Russia at this
Ah.
moment not have? Money. Aha, that's it. We're talking about soft factors and money.
Oh.
The T7
Oh, it's a little bit
the
more expensive.
the T14 Armada costs $5 to $9 million per unit estimated and has no production line. Each of these is handmade because the person who was hired to set up the production line was Ukrainian in 2015.
Oh, that was
Do
a
you
great
think there's
idea.
do you think there's a reason why the money was embezzled
Yeah, I can possibly see why.
versus the T90M, which has a production cost of $4.5 million per unit and does have a production line so you can produce way more?
You might as well just stick with the T95 at this point. Wait a minute. Wasn't the T95 the Black
T90M.
Eagle? Or is it a real T95 now?
There's the T90 and T90M, which are actual real tanks. The T-95 was fake.
Ah, I see.
Let's go on to the next soft factor, gun sights. So, let's say you're this T-14 Armada in Ukraine, and you're fighting this Ukrainian T-84. Now, you fire at it. Unfortunately, you've had an anti-infantry round loaded by mistake, so you only knock out their gun sight. The Ukrainian T-84 has a backup gun sight and so can still return fire. Let's invert the scenario then. Let's say you're the Ukrainian T-84, and you fire on this T-14 Armada, but accidentally loaded anti-infantry rounds and so only knock out its gun sights. The T-14 Armada
They
does
don't have
not have backup
backups.
gun sights.
Oh no.
Instead, the loader has a single periscope. Do you know how hard it would be to aim? So if you've ever tried to hip fire a gun, you're probably at near point blank range, probably under 25 feet, probably with a pistol, and probably trying to hit about a human-sized target, and that's extremely difficult. Now, and you don't really have to worry about ballistics, more just like getting it to point in the right direction. Now
Yeah.
let's imagine your field of view is 3 inches, and you're
Ooh.
firing at significantly farther ranges with a gun that's not directly in your hand, but somewhere vaguely above you, and you're firing at far distances where ballistics do matter. It'd be a miracle if you hit the broadside of a barn. And
It's
because you
true.
didn't hit it, my grandfather would embarrassingly pop up behind a brick wall in front of that barn and take a very embarrassing photo of you before popping down to show how macho he is. That's a story for a later day. I promise I'll tell you the story of that.
Low-key though, this tank probably misses a cathedral if you take out that main camera thing.
Let's go to the next soft factor, night vision.
Hmm. Oh,
The T-14 Armada has night vision. This is a good thing. The
that is a good
T-14
thing.
Armada's night vision was surplus French night vision from when they upgraded their Leclerc tanks in 2009 or 8, about that time. Do you want to know about how outdated that is?
Fairly outdated, I'd say.
The civilian market has better night vision. You can go
Oh
to
my, that's cooked.
you can go to any good spyware shop and with a couple thousand buy a drone with better night vision than the best Russian tank they have in their arsenal, according to them.
Wait, there's something called a spyware shop? Where's this been my whole life?
Technically spy gear, I did mess up the name.
It's still, I still want it. Now I wish we, now I
You
wish I didn't have a
cannot afford it.
1990s. Yeah, no, I have a 1990s Russia wallet right now.
Please, uh, like and subscribe to the podcast so we can get to the point where we can afford a Patreon so we can buy him a spy drone.
Yeah, I can spy on my old school. Ha ha ha.
But if you remember back to the engine, the reason why they went with a domestic engine from Nazi Germany instead of a foreign engine is they wanted to be unreliant on foreign imports. So they went and used foreign
Oh.
imports. Whoops. This also reminds me of a couple things I forgot to mention back in the engine section. That engine they're using is weaker than stuff you can buy on the Western civilian market. You can go to any reputable used car dealership and buy an F-150, which has a better engine than the best Russian tank in service according to them.
I think they may be lying about that then.
According to the figures of the F-150 and the T14 Armada, the F-150 has a better engine.
Oh my gosh, Russia, bro. Holy selling.
Yeah, it's also significantly more reliable, too.
I guess they didn't watch Golden Panzer.
Yeah, they definitely did not learn from their mistakes. Now, do you want to hear the worst one of them all?
It gets worse.
It gets worse.
Oh no.
The T-14 Armada isn't just a tank. Its chassis is part of a system of vehicles. Now, a
Wait,
modular
are these
military
all?
is not necessarily a bad idea. I mean, the US used the M113 down here, which is a light APC, and they've used it as an APC, a mortar carrier, a mobile gun carrier, a command vehicle, a bridge layer, basically anything you can think of. Uh, but there's a difference between the M113, a light APC, and the T14 Armada main battle tank. And as Napoleon famously once said, an army marches on their fuel trucks.
Mhm.
And the Russian army already requires too much fuel, and uh, they're being targeted, and their fuel trucks are being so targeted by Ukrainian drones, they've started disguising them as logging trucks.
Oh, that's actually kind of smart though, if it worked, which I doubt it will, because we already know about that.
Now, imagine if every vehicle in your army, from mortar carriers to amphibious vehicles to self-propelled guns to AA, which isn't on here, is all based off a tank chassis. That would require
Uh,
even more
a
fuel
lot of fuel.
and even more tanker trucks
And
and
even more
even
targets
more.
for the drones.
Yeah, if you already thought half of all Ukrainian fields are now just Russian tanker truck graveyards, then you haven't seen anything yet. Now, maybe part of the
Basically
reason,
being Basically, if you're a Russian fuel tanker driver, that's just a death sentence at this point.
yeah, maybe the reason they designed it like this is they never thought they would run out of fuel, because Russia is basically just a giant oil and natural gas barrel disguised as a country, to put it simply. But they forgot that they had to get the fuel to the front lines. In short, to summarize, the T-14 Armada is a tank that cannot drive, with a gun that cannot shoot, a defense system which cannot be used defensively, and soft factors so horrid that they make the Ukrainians win the battle before they even have to fight the battle.
We're going backwards. We're going to like World War One, where the tanks should break down before they hit the battlefield.
Alright, it's time for a segment on this podcast we like to call Viewer Mail Time. If you would like to send in viewer mail for viewer mail time, uh, please email the address down here. One problem, this is episode 1, we don't have mail. Uh, so I'm going to have to resort to personal anecdotes. So, this is the time I got trapped in Newark. So, Me and my father were returning from an overseas business trip. It's an overseas business trip for tax purposes, if you're curious. Uh, we had just arrived back in the US at Newark Airport, as pictured here. And then when we went to the uh, plane that was supposed to bring us to where we actually live, because we don't live near Newark, uh, it encountered mechanical problems before it could even taxi out, so we went back in the building. And
Uh-oh.
then this was early 2023, I think. And then every uh s- sorry. And then the FAA was like, "Oh no, there's been a computer system error, I believe, was the reason for it." And basically every single blah. And basically every single plane in the country was stopped,
Ooh.
with us still trapped in Newark. We had already been traveling for over 12 hours because we had just arrived from a cross-Atlantic flight. It was not Eshihad or Ethahad, or however it's pronounced. This was just the first image of a plane that I found. But we went from ticket counter
Name
to flight that never went off to ticket counter to flight that never went off to the, for 5 hours, which would have actually been the same amount of time for a ride from where we lived to get to Newark and then drive us back. Luckily, we
Wow.
did manage to find one plane to the airport we were going to, flew there, and then drive back home for a total travel time of 25 hours straight.
Yeah. That's not that short.
You can tell why I put these images here. It
Oh, that's a
was,
lot of traveling.
yeah, it was awful. And this has been viewer mail time. Remember to please submit your viewer mail here of any personal anecdotes or stories at the email address I'm rapidly circling in red. All right. Uh, so do you have any advertisements? Uh, I mean, please like and subscribe. And
Yes, please
yeah,
do.
subscribe to AJ 1700s and
Blazing Blades YT.
uh this is normally where we would pin a Patreon, but we're too small to have a Patreon at this point, as this is episode 1. So please like and subscribe so we can actually get more advertisements than ourselves. Like ourselves, but this time you can actually give us money.
Ooh, money.
Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next episode, which I believe will be it's your episode, right?
Eventually.
Yeah.
Hmm? It'll
I
be
think you're
eventually.
Yeah, you are doing the next episode. It's on search and rescue, right?
Most likely, yes, it would be on search and rescue.
Let's just hope search and rescue is less problematic than the T14 Armada.
We shall see.
Oh no, that's not a good sign.
We shall see.